Hello there. It's been a while. I think it was just before Christmas. I bet you were thinking, no more scam videos because nobody's getting scammed. Well, unfortunately, over the Christmas period, people were getting scammed to the tune of thousands and hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's still a lucrative market for the criminals who want to do this. So, going into the new year, we're going to look at 5 of the bank-related scams that we should all be aware of. Mainly because these are the ones that the scammers get the most return from. So the first one is Money Mule. Now, I don't know whether you know this, but if you are unfortunate to have been scammed, especially the refund scam where you have to give the scammers money, sometimes they will give you an account number which is based in the United Kingdom, and that account isn't one they've set up themselves. It's the account of a victim that they've managed to get the details for, and all money goes through that because the scammers have access to the account. And this method of scamming is called the Money Mule scam. But it can also happen when you're a victim of the... Just give Max a quick cuddle. When your bank account becomes a victim of the scammers, they can turn yours into an account that they can use to move money through. Now, the money doesn't stay in the account for long. It's in and then it's straight out again. So, but what scam baiters try and do, their ultimate goal is 2 things. One, to keep scammers on the line, so they can't be scamming anybody else. And secondly, they'll want any information regarding bank accounts that the scammers use. You can stop your bank account from becoming a mule account simply by doing 2 things. Never let anybody remote access your laptop or workstation. And secondly, if for any reason you've allowed number 1 to happen, number 2 is never ever let anybody access your bank account online. Ever. You just don't do it. If you follow those 2 simple rules, you won't be a victim of about 90% of the current scams going on in the world at the moment, especially the ones in the UK. Card theft and shoulder surfing is another one. Well, this one's been around for many years. You know, the one where you're up at the ATM, you've got your card in the machine, someone taps you on the shoulder to distract you, or they're just hovering over your shoulder because they want to see what the PIN number is you put in the hope that one of their mates will pickpocket you to get the card, so that then they've got the card and PIN. And the other thing is just skimming machines on the ATMs. These are getting so good now that they can harvest the data from your card as it goes in. They have a little camera on, so they collect your PIN number, so they can clone your card, and they can spend quite a lot of money if you've got money in your account well before you actually get to spot it. Number 3 is something that's becoming more and more prevalent, is the fake apps that directly access your bank account. Why you'd do this, I don't know, but there we go. One was spotted on the Google Play Store recently, and it was harvesting all manner of data and also accessing your bank account as well. So it just goes to show that the Google Play Store is still a bit of the Wild West, even though Apple have got things in places. Even Apple are not immune to these kind of apps slipping through. Be aware of calls and texts to your mobile phone from what appears to be your bank. Scammers can spoof numbers. They can just look up the central number of a bank, let's say Barclays Bank in the UK. They can spoof that number and then just send text directly to people from that number. And if you're a Barclays customer and you've got the number stored in your phone, it'll flash up on your mobile phone as being from Barclays. This is where the technology to make things easier for you is turned against you. It's normally a number to ring or a website to visit. Again, just to harvest more data. And the data can be used to create false identities, or it can actually be used to create bank accounts in your name. All the details about. Just think about when you last set up a bank account, what you needed. A scammer doesn't take very long being on the phone with you or sending a very well written form, and they can harvest a lot of those details, mother's maiden name, and if it's just put into a form that you're already trusting the source, then you're more likely to populate it with the accurate information that the scammers can then go to, let's say HSBC, and create a bank account in your name, which they will then use as a mule account. Number 5 is the old saying, which still is true today. If something looks too good to be true, it isn't. And these are the online purchase scams. You can find them everywhere. And it's, again, is it something that you particularly want? The scammers can usually tell that just by monitoring someone's accounts or just monitoring Twitter. What are people talking about? And then they can just target that particular person with, let's say, I don't know, a handbag that they've seen somewhere and they really, really want. Well, scammer will say, well, we can give you this handbag, genuine handbag, for 25% of the normal price. You can see how this works. Stick to trusted retailers, because it's easy money for the scammers. They don't even have to provide the goods. They can just pretend and say they've got, I don't know, a Chanel handbag. They can get pictures of the handbag off the internet, send them to you saying, yep, here it is, genuine. They don't need the handbag, they just need the money sent through, and that's it. They'll disappear. They've got what they wanted, and you're left with however much money down and no handbag. Those are the top 5 circulating in the UK today. Now, as I said, unfortunately, Christmas has been good for the scammers this year in the UK. They've done very, very well, and it's, scams can easily be shut down just by 2 simple rules that I mentioned earlier. Don't let somebody onto your machine, whether it be a Mac or a Windows machine. Just don't do it. Just don't let them control your machine. There's no reason why you need to do that. Some companies do offer a remote service if you've paid for a license, but it'll be you contacting them. It won't be the other way round, where scammers cold call you. And certainly nobody needs to see your bank account at all. They just don't. Whether they're paying money into it or not, they do not need to have access to your bank account. Nobody does. So if you're asked to log into your online bank account, you should have alarm bells ringing left, right and centre, and you should hang up that call, because it's a scammer. Thank you so much for listening to this blogcast, I don't know. hopefully I'll see you again soon, cancer symptoms allowing. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, have a great week next week. Bye bye.